We're here at Southdale Arena, Southdale Community Center for the St. Boniface Riels matchup this afternoon on this Sunday, taking on the visiting Stonewall Jets. I'm your play-by-play commentator for this afternoon's matchup, and Graham, the G-Show Forsyth. We're brought to you by Terrico, Make-Cannon Fasteners and Tools, Goaltenders, and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Another abbreviated pregame show for you all today, but we're going to get to some of these stats that we had lined up, some of these pictures we had lined up for you all coming up throughout the intermissions of this game. The standings coming in, both of these teams neck and neck with each other. 1 point separates the both of them as they get set to make their way both out onto the ice, as Stonewall has made their way out first, and St. Boniface is about to get set to make their way out as well. By the way, before we end off our pregame show, I wanted to get this picture in, but I couldn't in time. At the front of Southdale Community Center, there's a missing dog, Sadie. She was last seen, she was lost on Friday, 5:30 p.m., last seen at Miles Robinson. Please call 204-250-2721 and help this owner find her dog if you do see her. She didn't describe the dog, but we will get the picture for you coming up during the intermission. But for now, we got mmjhl game day. Stonewall, Riels, coming up next. Last time these two teams played, it was the Riels who gave the Jets their first loss of the season, a 4-1 victory down in Stonewall. Since then, both these teams, well, like I said in the pregame, showing you that graphic, neck and neck with each other in the standings right now. 1 point separates them. The outcome of this game, the Riels looking to make it a 2-0 season series record for themselves, and the Jets looking to split the season series so far. Starting goaltender for the St. Boniface Riels will be number 31 in Michael O'Sullivan. Number 1 in Spencer Hunnam gets the start this afternoon for the Jets as we're underway. Matthew Trott tries going to the middle with that pass in the Stonewall zone, but couldn't connect. Connor Davis dumps it in, retrieving it. The Jets do as this goes all the way down for an icing. Or it's going to be beat out as this ends up into the crease. Michael O'Sullivan, as we get a bit of shoving in front of the net. This game brought to you by Make-Cannon Fasteners and Tools, Terrico, Goaltenders, and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to visit their store and 995 Miltsteagle Drive, or check out their website at cancentralsportscards.com as this puck ends up into the Riel zone, passed across to Bachnecht as he goes off the boards, but through the skates that goes past a Jet player and Stewart. No icing called on the play as the Jets look to break this out, and they do. Peyton Bateman passes this one up, gets dumped in by Chang, sends it into the direction of actually number 13 there in Ryland Slatcher. He's out there with Kaczorowski. Slatcher has Kaczorowski. There goes to Chang. Gets that blocked by number 66 and Aiden Lazarenko. As for the Riels, they survive off of that nice block. A stretch pass, saucer pass that just gets over the stick of Kaczorowski into the crease of Hunnam as he covers this up. As Aiden Lazarenko fired that one in. So far, the crowd here piling in on one side on the Southdale West Rink standings, and that shot goes off of the glove of Hunnam, but I'm not sure which side is which, since the Riels actually end up taking, I guess they've switched the benches at this point. I remember when they used to have the home bench as the away bench here, so we got an offside, but no matter what side it may be, one side of the crowd packed here this afternoon, late here on this Sunday, in this late afternoon in Southdale Community Center. Thank you for tuning in to G-Show Productions, mmjhl game day here between the Riels and Jets. Your home for mmjhl hockey here in the 2024-2025 season, as this gets played down low as the Jets look to go to work. Here's this gets passed up. Back to the point, it goes back to Kennedy. Kennedy fires a shot that gets turned away. Derek jamming away at the loose puck, but couldn't get to it. Still, heavy forecheck here by the Jets. Unable to sustain the zone for now, though, as this gets sent right back in to the Riels end. As tipped in the neutral zone all the way onto the crease of Spencer Hunnam and into his glove. So we got a stop from play here with 17:39 remaining. With shots 2 apiece for both of these sides, the Riels, a lot of volume so far this season, averaging the most shots per game in the league per game at just above 41 per game at that number, so really impressive. They've allowed an average of about 24 shots against per game as well, so a team that, even though they have those numbers, those high amounts of shots for per game, ranking middle of the pack in the league in goals per game. Something they definitely like to see improved, and here it does as they score. Taking advantage of that chance, back door, the Riels go. Number 88 and Cole Davis is on the doorstep to put it home. And the Riels off to a quick start in this one, 17-13 remaining in the first period. Creating that turnover with a strong forecheck in front, a 2-on-0 chance for them as they bury it. Spencer Hunnam sprawls out to make the save, but really has no chance there once that pass is connected on. And with that, the Riels up 1-0 in this first period, early here in the opening frame. So we'll see how the Jets respond as it's passed up to Bateman. Peyton Bateman, top 5 in goals heading into today's game. Tries making his way through number 10 there in Alsip, but he was stood up. Bateman back down low. Backhand pass that doesn't get out front to King. Turned over into the Riels' possession, into the skates of Trott, but nice job to receive that pass at first before he lost possession of it. Picked up by Bateman again, makes his move to the middle. Cuts back to the outside now. His shot deflected off of the stick of Alsip. Gives him a bit of a tough time, but yeah, in terms of taking a look at the Jets' outlook heading into this matchup today, turbulent ending to October. Sure, they were able to get a win in there, end up losing to the Raiders Junior Hockey Club to end off that month, but they took flight versus the Canucks as that goes wide of the net. On Friday, a 5-2 victory for Stonewall as they get back into the win column. But Top Gun had that in there on the graphic because they've been top heavy this year. Really, it's been that top line that's done almost all the damage for Peyton Bateman, as we'll get to the stats a bit later on here. With Peyton Bateman and that top line to produce most of the scoring, so looking for more from their depth. I think that's what Power would like to see in this game, along with the rest of his coaching staff. But this will be picked up by Riels, as Riels has this tripped of the stick of Kaczorowski, but Riels able to get back after Kaczorowski loses it. Riels will delay now, trying to hit the middle seam there, but couldn't find Wojtowicz. Wojtowicz almost gets to that loose puck that was sitting out in front for just a moment in the Stonewall end. In front of their net as this gets chipped in by Kennedy. He gives chase, but O'Sullivan out to play it and plays it to a teammate, number 18, and Noah Keating. As this off the stick of Kennedy in the neutral zone now. Going to pressure Parker Carrolls is number 24. Delayed offside on the play for the Riels is number 20 in Braden Coleman. Riel Chartrand, sorry. Looks to start this breakout up. They do, but this goes all the way down to the Riel zone for an icing. Yeah, in terms of this Stonewall Jets team, though, only 8 players who have scored goals for them so far this season. So, yeah, definitely looking for more help from their depth today. It's been mostly their top guys scoring. Garchinski with that shot that gets turned aside. O'Sullivan turns aside that chance from Kennedy. Garchinski down low along with number 9 and Kennedy as he looks to move this puck up. Looks to move it down low now as he gets tossed to the ice there. Big hit from the St. Boniface Riels, as I believe that was Matthew Trott. Played back into the corner for number 18 in Keating. Now that gets across to Parker Carrolls. Up to the captain and number 96, Connor Davis, who redirects that back in. Caden Stewart now stretch pass up to Coleman, who deflects this in. No icing on the play because of it as this gets rimmed around but turned over. Smith has a man out in front but can't connect with the pass to Newcomb as the Riels look to make their way up through the neutral zone. They recover this loose puck now. Bachnak kicks it out to Lambert. Lambert unloads, rebound created there, but Bachnak couldn't get onto it. As it'll be Coleman who tries to dangle through, gets stood up by number 10 and Sam Alsip. He could not make it through Alsip and got a rude awakening afterwards. Tries to lay a hit there on Sukit, but could not. As he dodged the hit there, number 12 in Reeves Sukit. Stonewall into the zone again, turned over as Bateman couldn't get that pass through. Reeves Sukit on the puck again, has this turned over, stripped away. Bowen plays on that top line for the Jets. It's Bateman now with it, who drops it back to the point. That shot fired on net, rebound there, but kept outside of that crease and into the crease now for the Riels as they cover it up. As Keating having some words for Cole Emberley afterwards, as Emberley, the captain of this year's Stonewall Jets team, as he's someone who I think they'd like to see get going, as he only has 5 assists on the season. Hasn't been that big of a goal scorer throughout his mmjhl career so far, as his career high in a year, 22, his season best. Ever since then, he's dropped in the goals category. More of an assist man, but last year coming off of a career low in terms of season low in a year. 22 points compared to the 38 and 37 he had in his rookie and sophomore seasons. I think kind of a disappointment for Emberley, and obviously looking for a huge bounce back this year as the Jets look to make it back into the playoffs. So they're in a playoff spot currently. Of course, as mentioned, only 1 point behind the Riels as the Riels get this in to the Jets zone again. Skating up with it and making headway in. Number 5 and Braden Bear will have this stripped away by number 94 and Slobosian, who sends that in opposite side in the Jets. And that shot from the point, high and wide of the net, was put on by Wojtowicz. Now skating to the middle, cutting it in to the net. Keating, oh, he fans on that shot. This will be held in by Parker Carrolls, however. He spins away in the corner, goes into the slot, into the feet there of Lazarenko as Lazarenko goes to Brzezinski. That goes through his skates, back up to Keaton. His shot can't quite get through as it's blocked. Brzezinski now looking to go to work high up in the zone and sends us down low. Going out in front, low, but the Riels could not connect in that low slot. Now going for a skate, Parker Carrolls. So have this turned over. Now stripped away by Shane Wojtowicz as Wojtowicz. Oh, sorry, Shea that is. Gets taken out at the blue line and up slow, a bit ginger going to the bench. Or gingerly going to the bench, as I should say. As that into the slot just misses behind the back of number 13 in Slatcher. Held in at the line and rimmed in all the way to Kennedy. Kennedy behind the back. Keeps the cycle going to Jared out in front. Can't connect with Slatcher at his stick. Taken away. Good defense by the Riels, who, as mentioned, only 24 shots against per game on average. So a team that, when you get into their end, has been very good and very physical this season, too, as Connor Davis lays the boom on number 13 in Slatcher. Now skating up number 21 in McNaughton as McNaughton sends us down low. Heading towards the slot. The Riels elect to go to the point. Tip just wide of the net as it was wide of the net already. That shot from Bachnet off of the stick of Trott as Bachnet stands up his man there at the blue line. Number 22 and Braden Coleman feeling all of that as Coleman tries to take a run and Bachnet unsuccessful. Now a 2-on-1 opportunity here for the Riels that they can't quite connect on for now, but Evan Lambert tries going to the slot as he jumped up in the play. Turned over now, Trott his shot into the crest of Spencer Hunnam as we get to take a breather here. With 9:51 remaining in this period, 5-5 the shots, 1-0 the score on the scoreboard for this Riels squad. As Cole Davis, the game's opening goal scorer this afternoon. That goal, by the way, even though it happened quite a while ago now early into this one, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. As into the corner, Evan Cockrell, I believe that is, trying to make a move past the Jet, but couldn't get by. It's into the neutral zone now, but picked up by the Riels. It's a saucer pass over to Reyes. He plays that up to Evan Lambert, who finds Evan Cockrell. Drop pass to Reeves Sukit. Sukit sends that down low, but will have it turned over as Cole Emberley was there to intercept it. But the Riels able to still hem this Jets team into the corner. Now they take the puck behind the net. Evan Lambert into the slot. His receival of the pass not there because it was a bit behind him. Pass was a bit off as this now behind Carson King, but he makes his way into the zone. Leaves this back for Bateman. Plays it into the slot for Emberley, but he'll have that stripped away by Reeves Sukit as he makes headway up. Passes to Evan Lambert, who tries to get it to Evan Cockrell. Now does side of the net, but can't connect on that pass. As a nice effort there. Oh, nice move by Carson King, who tries to make his way through Alsip, but couldn't. Number 10 having a phenomenal game on the back end to start off this afternoon as Evan Cockrell delays. Gets it to Alsip, but misses just high of the net as he activated up into the play. Now into the corner. Both teams going to battle. Slatcher will pick this up. Feeds this to number 10 in Stewart as Stewart gets this to a man who almost gets stood up there. Number 20, I believe that is that shot turned aside off the glove, or the blockers, sorry, of goaltender O'Sullivan. Turned over in front of the net, picked up, Slotto just misses. Caught a piece of something for the Jets as number 29 in Chang unloaded the shot. Chang passes across now to Slatcher. As Slatcher back to Chang, but a bit behind him as Cohen and Ryland couldn't connect with each other there. Now drop to the slot. That bomb unloaded on by number 77, Dylan Bachnet. Couldn't get it through as it was blocked up. Kaczorowski now trying to make his way through into the Riels blue line. Their zone, but he couldn't. This goes all the way down. No icing on the play as it's negated. The Jets trying to take advantage out of the net. Quick one-timer turned aside by O'Sullivan. And with that, 7:22 remaining. Number 31, Ben Sharp, to start off this afternoon for this Riels squad. As for the Riels, we'll get to their Yes, stats graphics soon here, as this draw won by them in their own end. But kept in, held in by this Jets team for now. It finally makes its way out. That lobbed in on O'Sullivan as he gloves that down and leaves it for Karros. Karros behind the back for Brzezinski. Turned over, though, into the slot. That one misses for this Jets team, and it's the Riels going the other way as this Parker Carroll's jumping up into the play. He shoots, had it disrupted on the way through. Rebound created there, though, as it's back into the corner now. Now up top, number 18, and Keaton has that poked away just inside the blue line, and the Riels elect to regroup in their own end as they feed this back into the neutral zone. Now it gets into the Jets zone. Hesitant for a moment there, Shea Wojtowicz as he picks it up now behind the goal line. Wojtowicz screening, scanning for his options. He decides to go to the point. Riels with a bit of trouble holding that puck. And as this gets rimmed around. And now turned over, picked up by Ty McNaughton as he dodges the hit. Bear tried to lay that on him, but number 5 just missing. There's been some physicality on the Riels end today, and they look to make their way up. Connor Davis able to draw a penalty and dodge the hit in the process there from Braden Bear. So we'll see what the call is coming up here. So this will put the Riels onto their first power play of the game. Not quite sure what it is. But as for the St. Boniface Riels, as they get onto this power play, they took care of business in Morris, Manitoba on Friday night, winning 7-1. Full volume for this team, 41 shots per game, but they're lacking a special, meaning special teams. 8.3% heading into this one. Speaking of the power play, they're on their first of this matchup today, looking to improve on that percentage early in this one. Here's the gets worked around to Brzezinski. This power play brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia in this first period. Drop back to Brzezinski, now off of the stick of Connor Davis. Brzezinski now off the boards, goes back to Davis. Davis surveying his options, tried going down low, had it intercepted. Now this getting past almost every Riel, but Dylan Buckneck, good job to retrieve and recover that as Brzezinski now, dangling his way in, backdoor feed. That one being turned aside there by Spencer Hunnam, is now coming down will be the Jets. Kaczorowski, he'll score! Well, a combination of bad breaks there for this Riels team, and this Jets team, of course, capitalizing on them, and Kaczorowski scoring a shorty to tie this one up at 1. And this one where it's just an awkward bounce out of the zone, a lively bounce in favor of this Jets team that gets past every single Riel as they're not in position to defend that loose puck coming through that blue line. It gets into the neutral zone, and Kaczorowski, even though it's a good forecheck from this Riels squad, he's able to muscle his way through to the net and put it in 5-hole past O'Sullivan for the equalizer here in this game this afternoon to start off. And the Riels struggling to get out of their own end finally do gain the Jets zone now as they look to work this up to the point to Evan Lambert, who makes his way in. That shot will be gloved down and snatched by Spencer Hunnam with 37 seconds remaining on this Riels power play. Yeah, a team that been really good on the penalty kill, 84.3%, ranks 3rd, but ranks 8th with a... Sorry, that would be the Jets I'm looking at right now. The Riels, yeah, pretty good PK. I mean, 85.7%. On the power play so far, though, giving up a short-handed goal and haven't had the offensive zone time they would hope for, but that one T-turned aside there by Hunnam, a blast there from Reeves Sukit as Sukit up high, passes cross ice, but that fanned on, and the Riels failed to execute on that pass back to Alsop. As with 10 seconds remaining now on this PP, They'll look to get one more opportunity perhaps, as nice stick to take that away by Riel. Pass back up to Suka. Now walking in, that shot turned aside by Hunnam. I believe that was Cole Davis who took it. We're back to even strength. Riel's looking to go backdoor but couldn't go there, as Alsop turned aside from the point by Hunnam as he reaches across his body to snag that with a glove. .343 remaining here in this period. Back to even strength. Number 11 for this Jets team, and Alex Kagzarowski getting his team back to even here moments ago, shorthanded. After the Riels opened up the scoring with a Cole Davis backdoor put-away goal. Side of the net pass, Spencer Hunneman on a nice pass and play from the Riels as they get possession of this puck up to Slobozzi and has that shot blocked there by Bateman as Bateman looks up ice, tries to thread that pass or through the other number 44 in Kalen Reyes, but nice job by Reyes to block that up. Now it's Voidowich whose shot just catches the glove of Hunnam on the way through. Crossland down low, draws a penalty. Or no, sorry, it'll be a hand pass here coming up. We'll have to fix our scoreboard here. As draw coming outside of the Stonewall Jet zone. As the Riels try to win possession on the draw, but can't. Nice job by the Jets in the face-off circle there. Of course, face-offs been important in this league at points. We've seen some goals translated off of them, most notably a Canucks goal as the Jets try to connect in front of the net, but that pass is fanned on. But it was the Canucks who, did all the right things on one of the plays on their face-off opportunity in the offensive zone last weekend against the Hawks and made the Hawks pay for it. Going up in that game at the time is that one almost a chance for the Jets to go up as they could not connect back door. It's played up to Kennedy now. Kennedy through the legs turns this over onto the stick of Connor Davis with 2:15 remaining now in this opening frame. In this one, almost a 2-1 game moments ago. The Jets doing a good job of forcing turnovers in this Riels defensive zone to start off this game. As that turned aside by Hunnam, left for a teammate. As this will be played up now by Kagzarowski. Nice move by him. Plays that up to Chang as Chang given chase but couldn't get there. First it was a Riel who did, but nice body check by Kagzarowski. Oh, Chang goes off the post in front. Number 29 may have a chance again, but that puck can't get to him as the Riels get this out of their own end for now and into the Jet zone. Picked up again, though, by Kagzarowski as he has this taken away in the neutral zone. Now sent in all the way to the Jet zone by this Riel squad, given chase. Aiden Lazarenko. As approaching the final minute of play here coming up in this first period of action. It's a 1-1 game. It's taken away by the stick of Bachnek in the neutral zone to Cole Davis. Back to Bachnet, who now drags this puck before shooting it. Turned aside there by Hunnam. As turned over down low now by this Jets team as they look to survive these last 45 seconds. Coleman off the boards to himself. Now plays it to a left winger. As this gets chipped all the way into the Riel zone. Newcomb was given chase, but D2D Bachnet connects this pass off the boards up to Parker Carrolls, to Sam Alsop. Or Ethan Alsop, that is. As the Riels go D2D into the corner. And the Riels can't connect out in front. As this goes all the way down for an icing. Potential costly icing here for this Stonewall Jets squad. As an offensive face-off draw coming up for this Riels team. Side of the net, that shot turned aside by Hunnam as it gets rimmed around. Still not cleared out. That one can't get to the net, though, off of a skate of a Stonewall Jet. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, MMJHL fans, we head to our first intermission to play here. Our first intermission in the play of this game. 14-10, the shots in favor of the St. Boniface Riels squad. We're up 1-0 and spoke about their power play troubles. 10th in the league heading into this matchup here today with an 8.3% power play. Well, not only did they go scoreless on their one and only power play so far in this game in that first, but they also gave up a shorthanded goal scored by Alex Kaczorowski, beating the 5-hole of Michael O'Sullivan to tie this game up in the later stages of the first period. But yeah, overall, you know, even though I was talking about this Jets team and how, you know, you want to see your depth get going, like, it doesn't hurt for you when your top guns are coming out in full force today and firing Cohen Chang with some great opportunities throughout that period, especially late. Alex Kaczorowski has been one of those guys this season for this Jets team that has been so huge, and he scores his 6th of the season shorthanded. You know, to start things off here in the scoring for this team this afternoon. Spencer Hunnam's been pretty solid to start off. I still do think, though, that the Riels want to look to get more high-danger scoring chances going out of their 14 shots for getting a bit more, you know, traffic, a bit more chaos inside of that slot area, or the house area, as I like to call it. And yeah, I know this is a team that likes to try to cycle it, and it's great to establish the zone, but simple, get pucks on net, you know, get pucks to the point, I think, and shoot from there, get some traffic in front. I think that could be the MO for this team in this game. But if they're able to break through like they did through that Stonewall Jets defense of zone in that first period, like on their first goal of the game, scored by Cole Davis, where they end up 2-0. Nice forecheck to strip them of the puck and feed that back door. I mean, they'll take that all day long. I do think that the Riels would like to also sure things up a bit more in their defensive zone, because that top-end talent for this Jets team so far, even their depth line is creating some chaos, creating some turnovers in there, and keeping that puck down low to, you know, generate from their cycle and continue on with their cycle when they get into the Riels zone. We're going to have updates from around the league and some more first intermission analysis coming up before the start of the second period. You're watching MMJHL Game Day live here from Southdale Community Center at Southdale Arena. Riels, Jets tied at 1 apiece. After the first 20 minutes of play, we'll be back soon here for period 2 and news from around the league. back into Southdale Arena here as it's a 1-1 game heading into the second period of action on this G-Show mmjhl game day on G-Show Productions, brought to you by McHenn Fasteners and Tools, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Them specifically for that first period too, as you saw them during special teams, the Riels power play sequence, as well as in other parts during that period. The second period is going to be brought to you by Terrico and goaltenders. But 14-10 shots after that first period of action. The goal scorers were Cole Davis opening up the scoring for the Riels, 2:47 into the game. His third of the year, assisted by Carson Dubois. And then Alex Kaczorowski ended up scoring his sixth of the season, shorthanded, assisted by Brody Stoven. We'll update you on the rest of the matchups going on around the MMJHL this afternoon before the Riels make their way out onto the ice. The Railer Express up 3-2 right now over the Pembina Valley Twisters. 13:05 remaining in that third period. As for the Vics, they're down 3-2 right now with 11 minutes remaining in the third period. The Canucks up 2-1 on the Twins with 16:07 remaining in the second. And the Hawks taking on the River East Royal Knights tonight at 7:30 at Terry Sawchuk Arena. That's the only game that hasn't gotten going here. There's going to be a doubleheader on Thursday night. Vics taking on the Royal Knights, and the Jets taking on the Railer Express. Jets will be in Stonewall at home for that matchup. But as we go on to period number 2 in this one, lots of good chances created from that strong Stonewall Jets forecheck. The Riels with some good chances and some good offensive zone time in that period, but overall not what they wanted on that power play, which saw them allow a shorthanded chance. And with that shorthanded chance that Kaczorowski scored on, it ended up becoming a tie game. As we're underway here in the second period of action, puck left for Ethan Alsip, who ended up having a very strong first period, as this gets played all the way into the Jet zone. Stewart picks it up, fires it off the boards, as this one offside, as Crossland wasn't back across the line before that pass was sent to him. So the referees bringing it back even further and all the way into the Riel zone. So big face-off opportunity coming up here for the Stonewall Jets early on here, maybe even establish some offensive zone time with this top line. And there we go, Peyton Bateman down low, intercepts this pass, but couldn't keep it there as this gets worked up along the left side. Held in, jumping I believe was a defenseman for the Jets to keep this down low. Batted it down into Bateman, who fired and shot that. That couldn't get through though. That shot will be blocked. Stoven unloaded as a Riel got in the lane. This gets rimmed around in the St. Boniface zone. Still can't clear it out as the Jets play trot hard at the blue line. Riel's now enter into the zone towards the net. That goes wide of it though, as it's now down to Matthew Trott. Trott tries to protect, spins around Emerly, but ends up falling into the boards. This puck loose out in front. The Riels can't bang away at it to their liking to get that puck in the net. Huge collision along the boards. Bateman takes the brunt of it as this stretched up to Reeves Sutter. As Reeves, that shot turned aside by Hunnam now. Reeves Sukit, sorry. Sukit now in the neutral zone. Sent in Hunnam. Hunnam left it for number 7 in Laranko. Austin Laranko sends that off the boards to himself, gets it back as his shot turned aside there by O'Sullivan. With 17:55 remaining in this period, shots 17-12 in favor of the home side, the Riels, but it's been the Jets who have been getting some decent pressure as of late. Winning this off the draw, Kaczorowski, his shot turned aside, another short shot turned aside there in tight by O'Sullivan as this played to the point. Bear, his shot gets through and into the crest of O'Sullivan as he makes another save. 17:44 remaining. Just want to thank you all for tuning into this edition of MMJHL Game Day. Give the goaltenders some love here. They've been huge to start off this period. Your Goalie's personal video review service. Be sure to check out their website at gordytomlinsongoalies.ca as that goes out of play. We'll get another face-off draw coming inside of the Riels zone. So it'll be Slatcher who wins it. That shot from Larenko ends up going wide of the net, chasing it down as Kaczorowski. He'll leave his other teammate to get in. Slatcher's this played up. And into the direction of Kaczorowski again as he's first forechecker in. Slobosian able to make his way past him, but turns it over. Slatcher in the slot. Couldn't get a handle on that puck. Is trying to make his way through now was Crossland into the Jet zone, but couldn't. This puck sent into the Stonewall end now out to play. It was Hunnam. So he got to a teammate in Larenko, but Larenko being hounded there by Crossland along with, I believe it was Dubois, sent down low into the direction of Dubois from Cole Davis. Those two connecting on the Riels' only goal of the game. And the opening goal of the game is this one, an offside called on the play. So by the way, we are live on YouTube for this afternoon affair, as we are for all of our MMJHL Game Day live streams. By the way, on our social media page, as well on our Instagram, as well as on our TikTok, we posted our November and December schedules today. As full schedule coming to our website very soon at gshow.ca. As this puck down low, Garrett will pick up the loose puck now and sends it across to Kennedy, who gains the zone. Down the left side, Kennedy shielding the puck away, or trying to at least, from Keating, but Keating got a good stick on him and got physical with him in the corner, knocking him off that puck. This puck back into the neutral zone, hops over the stick of Lazarenko. Keating played it up into the Jet zone as this gets sent right back into the Riels end. Off the boards, Keating tried chipping that. It ends up back into the crease, occupied by O'Sullivan as O'Sullivan will cover things up with 15:58 left on the second period clock. It's another face-off draw inside of the Riels end. Emberley back in the draw, the face-off circle for this Jets team. This time losing the face-off draw, but a strong forecheck and strong at that blue line to hold it in initially, but the Riels able to break in. Sent to the net, having his stick taken away there was Bachnecht as he jumped up into the play. Could not get a handle on that puck that was out in front, but out into the slot. Bachnecht goes for McNaughton. That pass connected as it was into his skates. Now stripped at the blue line. The Jets get it back in their possession. Carson King tries firing a backhand pass over to Bateman, but that one can't get there. Now skated up, McNaughton has Connor Davis with them, drops it to the captain. Davis along the wall with Eberle, tangled up. Puck ends up in the slot, gets past Trott, sent out by Stewart for this Jets team, but sent right back in by the Riels as puck rims around the boards. Nice play by Davis, pokes it to McNaughton into the slot. Oh, that turned aside by Hunnam. Highlight reel save by number one as he robs Averill of what Averill thought, I'm sure to himself, would have been the 2-1 goal. Maybe, or maybe not thinking too far ahead, but nonetheless, frustration for sure for number 27. As for this Riels team, you know, been a big snake bitten at points this season, and you can even make the argument at times last year too. When they set up plays like that and can't score on it, you You gotta feel sorry for them after a while, to be honest with you, because you're doing the right things, you're getting to the right places. You'd just like to, in their case, connect at a higher percentage, as there's a penalty coming up here. Hard collision into the boards. Say charging penalty coming up here to Evan Lambert. See if I can watch this back. In the live stream, since we don't have replay. But just to get an idea of how exactly that hit occurred. As puck gets sent in. And yeah, I mean, he lays a hit, big hit into the boards, right? You know, took a few steps beforehand to get there, so a charge warranted there, I assume. You know, you usually see, you know, that exact play. If there is going to be a charging penalty, you get called most times in this league. If not almost every time, unless the refs decide to let it go. But we're back to special teams here, as it's the Jets this time on the power play. 1:45 remaining on it as Evan Lambert goes to the box. And it's the Jets who look to set up and gain the Riels end. But nice job by the Riels to send this out. Of course, for them, what they're lacking in their power play, they don't lack in their penalty kill. Over 85% as Peyton Bateman tries to solve this stingy Riels PK so far, but can't. Had it stripped away. This gets sent opposite corner into the Jet zone as the Riels go off for a line change. Bateman now winding up in his own end and now wheeling through the neutral zone. He's going to go hard down that left side, plays it off the boards, tried to chip it down low, which he did, but gets rimmed all the way down into the Jet zone once again as Hunnam out to leave it for a teammate. That's Stewart, who surveys his options up ice, doesn't like what he sees, so decides to circle back before rimming this. Reversing it all the way out into the Riels end, but the Riels not fooled by that as they send it right back in to the Stonewall end. Stewart this time around will drop this back. Turnover forced, though, is that pickpocket, it scores! Number 21 it was in Ty McNaughton. Getting revenge for the earlier shorthanded goal in this one, scored in the first by the Jets to tie this one up. Well, for this St. Boniface Riels team this time around, they're rewarded on the penalty kill. Instead of having to come back to bite them being on the power play. Yeah, just nice forechecking, nice job by McNaughton to be aggressive and hound that Stonewall Jets player who ends up turning it over. I couldn't quite catch who it was, but it was Caden Stewart who drops it back to, I believe it was number 7 in Austin Larenko. But yeah, once McNaughton strips him of the puck, it's just him and Hunnam. And he makes no mistake on it. The bit of patience warranted past him picking in a spot. As Cockrell dangles through his legs and gets that on net. As we're back to even strength. Two to 1 Riels lead off of a heck of an effort from number 21 in Ty McNaughton. And really a power play where not much generated for this Jets team. Couldn't really establish the zone with much success. And when they did, it was this Riels team playing structured, playing sound, and playing aggressive on their PK to pressure their opponents. As it's played to Parker Carrolls, plays this up to a teammate who has that taken away. This will now be into his skates of number 25 or 29 there in Cohen Chang. As picked up by Avon Cockrell as he makes his way in. Cockrell now dangling to the middle. Puck on a string for 27. Dishes off to a point man. And Keaton, whose shot gets through but turned aside by Bateman. by Spencer Hunnam. With 11:51 remaining in this period. In this one, the Riels regaining the lead on a shorthanded goal, courtesy of Ty McNaughton moments ago in this one. Special teams been a theme today, not in the way you might expect. So Kaczorowski making his way through to draw another penalty, almost getting that puck back, but hard to when you lose your balance and you go to the ice like he did there. This will be touched up by the Riels. And like that, we'll be going back to a Riels penalty kill, back to a Jets power play. This time brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. As O'Sullivan hoping for the same type of result and effort from his group this time around on the penalty kill, just like the last. As the top unit out here for this Stonewall Jets team. One to Stewart, played across to King. His shot just goes wide of the net there. As turned over, it's the Riels making their way in. Davis has a man go to the net, decides to shoot, but can't beat Hunnam on that short side. As Hunnam this time not going to allow a shorthanded goal that easily. Not saying the first one was easy by any means. Quite an impressive shot by McNaughton to get it past him, as it's the Jets tipped out in front, side of the net, Cohen Cheng. But he could not cap on it, as King worked it along to Emberley, who got it up top to Stewart, who plays this across. Bateman into the slot for Emberley. Rebound there, hand die, as that gets batted in. It's save made by O'Sullivan as him and Dubois start going at it, throwing punches at each other, as Dubois has the jersey over top of his head. No, sorry, that was Riels. Dubois still near that left post in his own end. A nice save there by O'Sullivan off of that. Nice attempt by Cohen Chang to bat that into the net. It's Slobosian who's in the box for this Riels squad. And as for number 27 in this game this afternoon, it's of course Kai Smith for this Jets team. As this draw went to Stewart. Stewart plays that to Bateman. Bateman, he'll unload that shot just wide of the net, as trying to catch that inside of that left post is coming down the other way. The Riels now establishing that closest corner to our second broadcast angle. Still, actually not in that corner still. It'll be picked up opposite side by Emberley as he skates his way in. Emberley able to make his way into the zone, now down deep after taking a bit of physicality at the blue line, chasing it down, electing to go off. Be number 10 and Ethan Alsip. Or might have been Jackson Fillion. Spin away from the check in there, Bateman behind his own net. 19 seconds remaining on the Slobosian penalty. Bateman looks to wind up and make his way through the neutral zone, which he does. Before that, though, entering the zone, played a saucer pass on, but did really nothing for the Jets as this gets sent all the way down deep again. As, Coleman and Slotcher with a bit of miscommunication. Crossland trying to take advantage on the forecheck, so we're back to even strength. This is played up to Austin Lorenko now, who on the backhand protects this puck, delays up high, goes back door. Oh, what a save made by O'Sullivan on what looked like to be an unlikely chance to happen. It'll be the Riels who make their way down back into the Jet zone now. As the Jets' best chance all game long that they don't end up capitalizing on. It's back onto the goal scorer stick and Kaczorowski. Kaczorowski dangling through, feeds this backdoor but can't connect with the pass. It was a beautiful move put on by number 11. That shot wide of the net there from Braden Bear. Picked up by the Riels but can't get cleared out. Austin Larenko sends that on net. Rebound. They're digging away at it where the Jets believe Kennedy tried to drag it to his backhand to unload that shot. Now that shot gets blocked by Riels as they make their way up the other way. Dangling, forehand, backhand, inside, outside. Number 19 in Dubois, it's Brzezinski, who he continues to put on moves there on Kaczorowski. Ends up on the stick of Wojtowicz, who into the skates with that pass. That goes to Avon Cockrell. Can't be cleared out by the Jets. That shot high of the net from Reeves Sukut. As a delayed penalty coming up from this Riels squad. It'll be the Jets going back on the power play as Kennedy drives down low, sends it to the net. It's touched up. And with that, a tripping penalty called. Number 17, Shea Wojtowicz and Braden Bear having some words for each other. Ethan Alsop, by the way, making his way off the ice. But it will be Shea Wojtowicz who goes to the box. With another power play opportunity for this Jets team, who looking for more here on this power play. More possession, more shots. I guess less in terms of penalty kill or shorthanded goals as this gets sent all the way down to their own end. Both teams with shorthanded goals against in this one. As the King passes this up into the neutral zone, turned over and sent all the way down into the Jet zone again, where Hunnam has to be careful not to have that turned over into McNaughton's possession. As McNaughton now picks it up again. McNaughton trying to dangle his way past and gets taken to the ice. This time, Stewart standing strong against number 21, not backing down. Stewart will have that almost stripped at the Riels blue line into the skates. That goes into Emberley. As into the crease, this puck ended up going into O'Sullivan's glove. The minute 13 remaining on the Jets man advantage. Stoven out there for this Jets team at the point. Draw one by the Riels. Stoven able to hold it in at that point as he makes his way up. Skates in before dropping this back. Now it's to Larenko. His shot turned aside into the glass there by O'Sullivan. That shot from a tough angle for the Jets got turned aside too, as this puck has enough this time to get out past Larenko, or past Stoven, that is. Larenko back to retrieve this puck behind his own net as he starts to skate up a bit before passing it off to number 15 in Stoven, who just before the blue line rims this all the way in. Picked up by the Stonewall Jets team, now sent towards the net. That one can't be put on after number 24 and Garchansky got a chance on it. Opposite point to Stoven. Sends a shot through, but not through a block. Now wide of the net it goes as Kennedy gets it back to Larenko at the point. 15 seconds remaining. That turned aside by a pad of O'Sullivan and out of play into the mesh. As face-off draw will be coming back inside the Riels end with just a few seconds remaining on this power play now. That shot turned aside by the blocker of O'Sullivan as we are 5 seconds away from this being back to even strength. Short-handed chance here late for this Riels team late in that power play as we're back to even strength. Can't connect with number 55 in Crossland. It was Reeves Sukut who sent it over to him. .5:45 remaining in this period. Score 2-1 in favor of the home-sided Riels. As puck gets played up. Hit happening moments before that pass. As now gaining the zone, Avon Cockrell. Cockrell protecting. Out wide, sends it up top to the point. Parker Carroll sends a shot through that gets high stick. This will be touched up by this Jets team, though, negating it. The high stick in that is, as this gets backhanded out. Oh, unsuccessful as Riels just fires wide of the net after intercepting that pass up. Cole Davis in the corner. Gets this to Avon Cockrell after being tied up. Cockrell back down low to a loose Cole Davis now, who protects Davis. His shot gets through. Cockrell on the rebound. Backhands that on net. Turned aside by Hunnam, but can't be rimmed out still by this Jets team. Holding in at the point. That shot not able to get through for Keating off of a block. As Carroll's finally, for this Jets team, gets it out as number 4 was unable to hold the line. Into the skates, this goes into Keating's possession as he fires high of the net. Picked up by Cole Davis again, though, who sends it in front of the net for Lazarenko. Couldn't get it to him. This held in, not hard enough for the Jets on the initial clear. Good stick by Kaczorowski, though, to get in the lane of that pass. DDD pass attempt from this Riels team. Stretch all the way to Kaczorowski at the opposite blue line. One off of his stick, so no icing on the play. As with just over 4 minutes remaining, this will get sent back into the Jets zone. Stewart, off the backhand, flips this into the neutral zone, where it went off of Kaczorowski. Picked up by the Riels now in their own end. As it'll be Brzezinski gaining the zone, tries to feed a pass across, but couldn't. It got intercepted or disrupted on the way through. Cole Davis, backhand pass back to a D-man, who goes to Dylan Boknek. Boknek now entering the zone, tries feeding a pass across, but couldn't find a teammate. This now onto the stick of Lambert, Lambert gets through one Jet, but couldn't get through a next. As Cole Davis, unable to hold at the line, whips this across to Dylan Boknek, who just before the blue line sends this in deep. Hunnam is out to play it. Ty McNaughton will get to the puck, tries playing a short pass through, now onto the stick of Davis, back to McNaughton, scores! It's number 21, second of the afternoon, giving his team a 2-goal lead with 3:03 remaining in the second period. And yeah, you give him any space to unload that puck, he's going to pick his spot by the looks of it and make the opposition's goaltender pay. He was a big-time pickup for this Riels team at the trade deadline last year, and his presence on the roster this year is paying dividends for this team. Nice quick pass and play by him and Connor Davis. Good forecheck from Ty McNaughton, 2 on that play to lead to that pass and play being set up. And with the Riels capitalizing on their opportunities today, 25 shots, 3 of them being goals. As that goal brought to you by Terraco, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry, as this ends up in the crease of Spencer Hunnam, as Hunnam will cover things up with 2:28 remaining in this second frame. 26 shot registered on the afternoon for this Riels team. So the Connor Davis line goes off and brings on the Riels line, which has been making things happen so far since Sukut has made his debut into the lineup, whether that's on the stat sheet or not. This line also very good at getting on the forecheck and getting after it. Having players on this line that can create, like Cockrell, who, speaking of, beautiful behind the back pass. That tipped on net, turned aside by Hunnam. And we'll get another stoppage on play. And just Cockrell's ability with the puck, close in between his skates, is so impressive. It never really looks like he's at a disadvantage. He recovers it super well, and right there, as you saw, like, he didn't really have any other options except for a behind-the-back pass, which he ends up connecting on. Just couldn't connect with his teammate there to the highest level to get the most out of that play. As this held in by Cockrell now is, taking a bad hit. This does not look good for Shea Wojtowicz, as he's holding an arm on the way through. We hope that isn't a break for number 17, who's been impressive at times to watch so far this year. his rookie season with the club. That played out in front, in tight, the Jets banged away at it, oh, not in! The ref signaling it stays out, the Jets thought they had a goal. As this remains down low inside of the Riels end for now, held in at the point by Parker as Parker activates in to send this down low to a teammate. Trying to get that out in front with the pass, that can't go for this Jets team. Played out to the point, taken out now by this Riels team who Reeves scores! Reeves Sukit picks the pocket. Number 25 in Darrett at the blue line and makes his way in. On number 1 and Spencer Hunneman buries it glove side. And for this Jets team, continuing to lose those one-on-one battles, right? The Riels coming down hard on that forecheck. You got to be ready for it. The Jets were not that time around. Garrett being the victim on that play, slamming his stick in frustration. And for the Jets, with 40 seconds remaining, as they came into this period tied at 1 apiece, they now find themselves giving up 3 unanswers. That shot sent in by Kai Smith, but couldn't make its way to the net. Smith will be pinned up along the boards now down low, as this gets passed onto the stick of Evan Lambert, who Lambert tries to dangle past Stewart, who sidesteps Stewart and almost gets that puck on net, but just wide of it. 15 seconds remaining, the Riels in on the attack. That shot turned aside by the glove of Hunnam off of the stick. That shot came from number 9. For this Riel squad, as a face-off draw, be to the far side of our broadcast angle right now with 11:4 remaining. Draw will be won by the Jets, as eating it in the corner will be Stoven as he slides this puck down low, shielding it from a Riel, and oh, not liking the approach, I guess, is Brzezinski, as with 1.9 seconds remaining, he gets a bit physical along the end glass there, trying to make out his number. Number 10 in Caden Stewart. Something frustrated Brzezinski on that one. And did get enough to draw a power play, a penalty for his team. So, unless they score quickly here, this Riel squad will be getting basically the first 2 minutes of period 3 opening up on special teams on the man advantage. As one too many out for the Jets at that moment, with Newcomb getting sent back to the bench. Draw will be won by the Jets into their corner far side from our broadcast angle. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we head into the third period of action here with a 4-1 Riels lead exploding on the scoreboard for 3 during that period. And it's, taking advantage of the moments, winning those moments that have been crucial in this game for the St. Boniface Riels team. Of course, they come out of that period with, I believe, Shea Wodowich in quite a bit of pain holding his arm. I believe they had another player go off as well, and Ethan Alsip. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, a few players getting banged up this afternoon for this St. Boniface Riels team. As for the Stonewall Jets, though, they're keeping it tight in shots. They've had their power play opportunities, but it's been a really strong Riels PK that hasn't allowed them to do much on those power plays. And like I talked about, moments, losing certain moments that have been huge in this game, like on basically all 3 of those goals that were scored. It was just Ty McNaughton on one of his shorthanded chances, winning with a sheer forecheck to strip his man of the puck and to snipe that, right? And then on their third goal of the game, scored by McNaughton for a second of the afternoon, Stonewall not too tight or sharp on their details around their own net as they, end up giving the puck away. A good forecheck from the Riels as they set up with a quick passing play where McNaughton's left wide open to wire that home for his second of the afternoon. And yeah, the last shorthanded goal for this Riels team, that was scored by, Reeves Sukit, right? Play that has to be made better at the blue line for this Stonewall Jets team to at least clear it away from your own end. At the very least to do that, but Reeves Sukit gets by, had one hand on his stick, able to shed the check, and get past for a shorthanded chance, which he wires home. So I think the Jets in this next 20 minutes got to focus on bearing down. Don't worry about the scoreboard as much. You can worry about it more when you cut more into the lead, but focus more on your process, right? Getting better in your defensive zone, bearing down like I said, and also looking for more of the high slot instead of the low slot. I think that this Riels team has done a really good job of taking that away so far this afternoon, and that was evident during that second period where Stonewall was forcing there and it wasn't happening. They're going to take away that pass right near the goal line, near the side of their net. So either try to find a man with a saucer pass or have a bit more patience to open that part of the ice up and get a bit more creative at that. But we'll have an update on the rest of the league coming up during this second intermission. The Riels will be on the power play for basically the full 2 minutes, a minute 59, as Caden Stewart took a late penalty during that end of that second period for this Jets team. Riels lead by a score of 4-1 with 3 unanswered in this one, looking to take it home in the next 20 miles, the last 20 miles of regulation here. You're watching mmjhl Game Day on G-Show Productions, your home for mmjhl hockey here on the network in 2024-2025. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Goaltenders, Terrico, and McCann Fasteners and Tools. And we're back into Southdale Community Center. As the third period is upon us here in this Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League. Afternoon affair between the home side, the St. Boniface Riels, who are up 4-1 against the visitors in the Stonewall Jets after the first two periods of regulation. In terms of, I just want to get into showing you all this picture because I said I was going to do this, but there is a missing dog out there. Looks like this. Her name is Sadie. Last seen at Miles Robinson. Lost on Friday at 5:30 p.m. So call that number if you do see her and help this owner find her dog. You hate to see this always, with our furry friends that may go missing. Never a fun thing to see or hear that happen, but getting back into the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League, and these two teams making their way out onto the ice for a game right now where the score is at where it was at the end of 60 minutes in their first matchup of the season between these two sides. As for the standings, both these teams coming into this afternoon's matchup separated by only a point. St. Boniface with a chance today potentially to move up further into the standings or maintain their fifth place spot this week's mmjhl action after this week is concluded. But both teams are at center ice, and we've dropped the puck here. Period number 3 is underway here from Southdale Community Center. Brought to you by Terrico Goaltenders, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, and Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. As this puck gets played across, sent into the Riels end, or the Jets end, possessed by the Riels. This will go D-to-D. Keating drops this puck off to a player, drops it again to Reeves Sukit. This goes up top back to Keating. Keating unloads this time, but gloved down by Spencer Hunnam. That shot was draw will be won by the Riels. Again played across to Lambert, who tried to feed it to a teammate through that stick of a Stonewall Jet, but couldn't. The Riels still on the power play, of course, to start off this period with this control as it gets sent out by the Stonewall Jets. And backhanded along the boards to Evan Lambert, who gets a backhand pass out to Reeves Sukit. Sukit gains the zone, feeds this to Davis. Davis back to Sukit, but goes into his skates. Down low with the pass. Connor Davis feeds it over the stick of Sukit this time. So that goes back to the point where Brzezinski's there to hold that line strong. So he activated up into the play a bit, and trying to glove that down was Reeves Sukit on the clear down, but could not for this Riel squad as they look to break in one last time to establish the zone here late on this power play. Davis with some speed, wheeling in, plays it off the boards to Brzezinski, gets past him, not able to be held in the zone by this Riel's team, and even a penalty coming up as well for this team. A tripping call to them, and number 89 in Brzezinski. As it will be the Stonewall Jets who go to the power play here, looking to cut into this 3-goal disadvantage they're facing right now on the scoreboard. Is that shot unable to get through by Bateman. Stepping up from the point now, number 7 in Laranko. It'll be Bateman down low, going hard on this forecheck, but the puck getting away from him. And now played up by this Riels penalty kill, which has been perfect so far this afternoon. A shorthanded goal for them as well. Stonewall with the shorthanded goal also. Their only one this afternoon on the scoreboard. As Peyton Bateman will send this down low, rimming it around for Slatcher. As Slatcher able to win this puck battle along the boards to King as King fires that puck. Turned aside off the shoulder of O'Sullivan as the Riels able to clear it all the way out. As they continue to survive on this Jets power play. Skated up now. I believe it was number 15, who's Stoven, sent it across. Now into the Riel zone where Bateman has his arm around, or in between the armpit there, I believe, of Keating as this gets sent all the way down into the Jets zone. Spencer Hunnam out there to stop it. And leave it for one of his teammates. As this will be sent in by Stoven, trying to get his team set up here with some possession in on the dump and chase as they do chase this down successfully. Stewart has Bear with him as he comes out fresh off of a line change. Bear will unload, oh, just wide of the net. This shot goes too hard to stay in the zone as well, as this onto the stick of Matthew Trott. We'll be back to even strength in just a moment here, and we are, as wheeling up. Number 10 in Stewart, he'll fire that shot, turned aside by O'Sullivan. Another chance, but this time O'Sullivan gets to that rebound and turns it aside. Side of the net, Chang will hit the side of the net. As what a chance there for the Jets, but they could not connect. A tripping penalty here coming up to the Jets as well, as the Riels look to take advantage of the extra attacker coming out on this delayed penalty coming up to the Jets. Played into the slot and taken away by Stonewall, and yet another tripping penalty coming up here. We've seen a bunch of those in this game here today. As we put our third period sponsor back on, and Mick Cannon Fasteners and Tools, one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. And some big scores to announce from around the mmjhl. The Pembina Valley Twisters, even though they were outshot 51-29, win 4-3 in Transcona over the Transcona Railer Express to snap a 9-game losing streak. So huge win there for this Twisters squad, against which has been one of the best teams in the league so far here through the first 12 games of the season or so in the Transcon Railer Express 11 heading into that one. The Victorias end up losing 4-3 in overtime against the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, and the St. James Junior Canucks threatening Fort Garry right now is Fort Garry down 3-2 on the scoreboard. Fort Garry with a 5-game winning streak coming in, with 15:48 remaining in that one in Ab McDonald Arena. So in this one, a 4-1 lead for this Riels squad. They're also on the power play as this gets worked up. Dave and Cockrell. Cockrell pinned up along the boards, taken out, as this allows for the Jets to get it out. A high stick called on the play. Going against the Riels. Yeah, talk about a win with a lot of heart for that Pembina Valley Twisters team, though, man. You lose 9 in a row heading into this one. You're going up against a team that had won 7 in a row. The hottest team in the league by that streak in the Transcon Railer Express. And, you know, you're able to get a huge 2-goal third period, which ends up being the difference in it. And certainly a lot of work left to do for the Twisters, as they're only at 4 points now on the season. But, yeah, I mean, like, if that doesn't boost the spirits, I'm not sure what will. As that win, they're first and well coming up against one of the best in the league right now, as Carson King gets a stick on the stick of a Riel player. They look to set this up as they break out, as Reeve Sukit sends this in deep. and rims this around onto the stick of Cole Davis as Davis maneuvers around a Jet down low, trying to go backdoor pass, but that gets taken away by the Jets, and it's Peyton Bateman who has a man going to the net with him, and King, whose backhand shot wide of the net. After it was just a bit too far for him, Bateman trying to razzle-dazzle past number 44 and Kalen Reyes, but couldn't. Reyes off the boards to his teammate and Evan Lambert as we're back to even strength. Lambert now sends this in with a backhand, which is going to be left by Hunnam initially for a teammate, but reconsider after Riel was right by him. As that gets rimmed around to Carson King. Leaves it for a teammate. Oh, stretch pass almost to Kaczorowski. Not the bounce that Stonewall was looking for there off the boards, though, as it ends up right into the glove. Number 31 and Michael O'Sullivan. As face-off will be to the glove hand side of O'Sullivan. And will be won by this Jets team, but intercepted by the Riels, and making his way up the right side is Crossland. Dangling through the middle, dangles through two Jets there before ending up opposite side of the rink in the Jets zone. Battling down low, there was Crossland, but finally has that taken away as the Jets making their way up. Caden Stewart establishes the zone, ends up sending Slobosian to the ice. Slobosian giving him a few shots afterwards. The two continued for a moment, but broke away from each other as Kalen Reyes starts a breakout pass up. Number 4 and Parker Carroll's who stretched that pass up, but couldn't connect with a teammate at the Jets blue line. Sent all the way down low into the Riels. Ennis Slobosian played that up quick for a teammate. This gets past every Jets player. Now onto the stick of Carroll, sends it to Dubois. Dubois, his shot wide of the net down that left side. He'll get it back down low to him was Connor Davis as Davis was heading to the net. That pass from Dubois missed everybody there. So it'll be onto the stick of Buckneck, who sent it to Trott, who deflected it onto the net of Spencer Hunnam as Hunnam covers things up here with 12:01 remaining in this third period of action. For some reason, our audio a bit low right now. So we'll look to adjust that. This held in by the skates of Evan Lambert now, who makes a nice move to the outside before shooting that puck turned aside by Spencer Hunnam. Fed up to the point to Bachnecht, who sends it down low. Trott tangled up with the Jet. Another Jet losing his balance and going to the ice hard there, and number 3 Parker, as this puck along the boards. Kai Smith now picks it up. A scrum ensuing along the boards too. A bit of a fight breaking out between Trott, and I'm not sure who else that is. I believe number 22 and Coleman. So I believe Trott will be sent to the penalty box here, and it sets up for a Stonewall Jets power play perhaps. No, it's going to be coincidentals. So we remain at 5-on-5. Just kidding, we're going a little 4-on-4 here. So I don't think Pat Power too happy about, I think it was Coleman on the Jets side of the penalty box, banging the glass. Maybe that's to mock Trott, I'm not sure what, but Power had enough of that and leaned over to his player and said, hey, stop that nonsense. But both of these teams right now we're getting Newcomb sent to the penalty box. Both teams are set up inside of the Jets zone. So yeah, it is going to be a power play actually coming up to this St. Boniface Riels team. Only Trot in the box for the Riels. And for this Jets team, Coleman and another going to the box. Is that blast from the right Riels point goes wide of the net as the Riels looking for some positives on this power play here. Good puck movement to start off. Shielding the puck away from danger right now is Avro as he makes his way up top. Tries sending that down low, backdoor feed, couldn't get through. Now picked up by Reeve Sukut. Sukut goes to the slot. That to Cole Davis, but off of his stick into the crease. As Davis took a shot at Bear afterwards. As now a fight ensues a bit. Doesn't quite get going actually. As Lorenko came in to defend his teammate in Bear after he wasn't a fan of that stick that came from Cole Davis, and Davis will get penalized for this. Same with Avon Cockrell going to the box. After whistle shenanigans that ensued, so oh my, it's actually going to be, yeah, so Cole Davis. Must have been a spearing penalty called because a 4-minute penalty for that, yeah. It's never a good look, and, I mean, understandable why Lorenko comes in to defend his guy like he did, right? Going at Davis afterwards. So with that, this Jets team, who have not had much going for them on the power play tonight, or this afternoon, will have a bit of time to work on a 5-on-3. But for now, working on a 4-on-3. As at the point, making his way in was Stewart, lost that puck to Bateman. Bateman now gets it back to Stewart. Stewart working his way up top into that right face-off circle and ends up having it blocked up. Up top to Bateman, across to King, scores! Pretty sure King taking a look over at the Riels bench afterwards on his way by, but exactly what you need from this Stonewall Jets team, right? I mean, Kane Stewart loses the puck there for just a moment and gets it back right away. That's winning a moment. And then getting good established puck movement in the offensive zone and trusting in your top guns to get you back into this game on the power play in Carson King as he cuts in to the St. Boniface Riels lead by 2, as it's a 4-2 lead now for St. B. And that goal brought to you by Mick Cannon Fasteners and Tools, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. As this puck taken away by McNaughton as he spins away towards the boards. Plays it off the boards now to Connor Davis, but hits a linesman on the way through. And that, unfortunate for this Riels team, as King tries to force that turnover off the forecheck. Still down low, trying to force something off of the forecheck in terms of getting a takeaway. Bateman down low to help out. Gets that to the net, but no one was there. That shot from a tough angle from Bateman turned aside. The good save by Michael O'Sullivan, flashing the leather. So both teams will get a fresh set of legs on. We're currently at 4-on-4 right now for the next 17 seconds. Then it'll be a Jets power play for over 2 minutes as that shot scores! Well, won't go anywhere just yet with 9:16 remaining. It's this Jets team that have chipped back into this game, gotten themselves back into it, now only down by 1. And I think I was talking about this near the start of the game, but executing on those little things, right? And another moment won by the Stonewall Jets where they're able to win the face-off draw and keeping it simple as well. Going D to D, getting it to an open point man in Larenko who has that wide open lane pretty much to shoot that shot. I guess there was a bit of traffic there, but a nice accurate place shot by him that gets past O'Sullivan. And just Stonewall executing on their details very well here on that last face-off. As we will still get to see them go on to the power play. With a little less time than they would have had before, 2:16 remaining on the Cole Davis penalty that he took. 12 seconds remain in the penalty to Adam Newcomb. As right now, one of the head referees sorting things out with the timekeeper's box. We'll see if we can get an update, actually, on the St. James Junior Canucks and Fort Garry Twins game, as Fort Garry now down 5-2 to the Canucks with no time left in the game. So the Canucks getting back into the win column as Grindle with a hat trick this afternoon. Hayden or Saab also getting on the scoreboard for that Canucks team. They're outshot 37-15 as well in that game. That might have just been through the first 2 periods, actually. Yeah, through the first 2 periods, outshot 37-15, but Connor Murphy slowly but surely getting better and better as this season goes along. One of his best performances on the year to date today. But as we do have things reset on the scoreboard, 2:48 added back onto the Cole Davis penalty clock, and 12 seconds as well onto the Newcomb penalty clock. But that most recent goal scored by number 7 in Austin Larenko for the Stonewall Jets, as they now enjoy 2.5 minutes of power play time coming here, brought to you by McKenna Fasteners and Tools. Draw pass back to Kaczorowski, open up the scoring. Short-handed for Stonewall specifically in this game this afternoon. Works his way down low and gets to that loose puck that he sent in deep. Sukit sends that down into the Jets zone, successfully clearing the Riels zone. It's played onto the stick of Caden Stewart, who shields the puck, circles back in his own end, away from McNaughton. Fakes the draw pass before headman in this up, and one of his teammates plays it across to Cohen Chang in the slot area. Chang down low, takes some physicality. He'll get this wide open now down low as he tried to feed it to a man in the slot but couldn't. As this gets played into the Jets bench, the Riels calling for a too-many-men penalty. They won't get it here, as Connor Davis loses that puck as he was continuing down low. Got ridden out along the end boards. That pass can't connect with Emberley, but he's in on it first. In on Kalen Reyes. Nice job by Reyes to get back and make a solid effort to retrieve that puck as it goes D to D. Dylan Bachneck sends it out with a minute 10 remaining on this Jets power play now. 7:33 remaining on the third period clock as this gets played up to Peyton Bateman, as he'll look to establish the zone. Here he gets ridden out along the boards there by Bachneck. The Riels, though, unable to rim this around. Bateman will get position on Bachneck to get to that loose puck. Send it out in front. Loose puck would be picked up by Emberley. Played it back to the point. It's Stoven now. Feeds King in the slot, who has that blocked by the stick of Kalen Reyes. Huge block by the skate of Stewart, who takes a stinger there Unable to hold it in was his teammate in Stoven as Dubois makes his way to the net, but denied by the pad of Hunnam. As now Garchinski gives a little shove to Slobozzi, and O'Sullivan has a bit of trouble behind his own net. Now into the skates, turned over into Stewart's stick, who can't get that pass. A block by the Riels. Total pressure right now by this Jets team. That shot through, tip, but can't get to the loose puck on the rebound. That shot from Lorenko off of something and into the mesh. As with 4 seconds left on this Cole Davis power play. See, potentially if this Riels team considers taking a timeout, their team just surviving, holding on to this 1-goal lead right now. Draw one by the Jets. That shot off the twig of a defenseman, number 20 in Chartrand, was blocked. We're back to even strength. As this down low, Kai Smith gets this free to Kenny, gets this to Chartrand, unloads, big toe save there by number 31 and O'Sullivan to keep this out of the net. As Kai Smith ridden out along the boards, far side. The Riels able to get this out, sending it across ice. As it's Avon Cockrell, feeds him in, oh, can't connect on that final finish on the back end. Was Brzezinski to put it away, but it's the Riels now, getting some offensive zone time. They'd like to think sustained for their sake, as Brzezinski draws a penalty as he was coming back up to get that puck to Lambert. Lambert sends it down low. It'll be a 6-on-5. Delayed penalty on the play. The Jets will stop this clock. If they can touch it, they do. With 5:31 remaining on the game clock, a huge power play opportunity here for this Riels squad. One where they're looking to, of course, you like to score to put this game, back into a 2-goal advantage for yourselves, but you also just want to work on getting some positive momentum for yourselves worked in this offensive zone. Chance that they'll have 5-on-4 for these next 2 minutes. As this loose puck picked up by Brzezinski, he'll take it around his own net. Not quite. He stops up right behind it, decides to go down the right side before feeding the pass up to Bachnet. Bachnet kicks it out to Jackson Filion, who sends that on net. That'll be turned aside. Sorry, that's Connor Davis. Missed the 9 in the 96. He gets that to 89, and Brzezinski, his blast will be wide of that low blocker side. Low short side, as they call it. As this gets played up to McNaughton. 2 on the game today. Brzezinski to the side of the net for Davis. He'll battle having that stripped away from him for the time being. It gets sent all the way out by this Jets squad. As McNaughton goes off for a change, Brzezinski will stay out as he was first on the puck. Banks a pass up to number 12 and Reeves Sukut, who builds some speed through the neutral zone. Sukut ends up dishing that out wide. Sukut gets it back down low now as this puck ends up going along the backboards down low for Evan Lambert, as Lambert takes it up towards the point, now working down the right side. Stops near the half wall on the right side of the zone. Tic-tac-toe out in front for the Riels almost, but they can't connect on it. As coming down, short-handed chance maybe here for Emberley, as Emberley gets taken out to the net. Huge defensive play by Keating to take away the stick of Kaczorowski as well there, who, if it wasn't for Keating, Emberley, he made that pass to the front of the net, good enough for Kaczorowski to put that into would have been a gaping cage past O'Sullivan, but hard back check for the Riels. As no penalty drawn on the play, surprisingly. Actually, yes, there is a penalty. Just didn't see a player in the box for the Riels. I'm sure there was one. We'll just keep making fasteners and tools on the screen. Your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. But, yeah, Lambert came back hard on the back check. Did anything he could, and I mean anything he could, to take away that chance away from Emberley took out number 17. He went hard into the boards, but impressive stuff from 17 to still connect with Kaczorowski on that pass. It was just that clutch play by number 18 and Noah Keating, who took away Kaczorowski's stick at that last moment to negate that scoring chance. But we're now on to a 5-on-4 for the Jets. They'll have a defensive zone penalty coming up here. Ty McNaughton in on the draw for the Riels. Ties up his man, and the Riels, huge possession for them to get this off the face-off draw. And they'll control in their own end. Regrouping all the way back there before sending in deep, where Hunnam has to play this into the corner, directing it there with the stick. With 3:09 remaining in this game. Oh, Stewart, a costly mistake from him here, maybe. A spinorama gone wrong as it's picked up by the Riels. They look to control it back into their own end again, looking to play keep away with this Jets team as this gets rimmed down once again, this time over top of the stick of Hunnam, bouncing over it below the Jets goal line in their own end. As this time around, no fancy place to get out of the zone, into the skates of Stewart. Spins around and sends that in deep. Fanned on that clearing attempt. It was off the stick of Bachnek as this turnover is forced. Caden Stewart gets this across the stove and back to Stewart. Stewart fakes the shot. Oh, try going for that one-timer to Carson King. That was set up side of the net. That just went through his stick as he whiffed on it. As Kalen Reyes tries to hold that puck along the boards, he can't. Carson King gets rubbed out along the boards, cut off. Cole Emberley has it turned over as well. This floats into the glove of O'Sullivan after deflecting off of a body in the corner of the Riel zone there. So with that, we'll get a face-off back inside Riel zone here for the first time in a little bit. 16 seconds remaining on the Evan Lambert penalty. Draw one up to Braden Bear. Behind the back pass to Larenko. His shot through, but not able to get past the wall that was built there in the crease by number 31 O'Sullivan for the Riels. Get another face-off draw to the same side, his blocker hand side on the Riels end. As Slatcher tries to win this draw, it gets up to the point to Bear. Bear, he'll unload that shot off of the glove of O'Sullivan, scrambling to get back into his own net. The Jets can't capitalize on maintaining that loose puck. Kaczorowski, side of the net now, top of the left face-off circle, fires O'Sullivan, fights it off as we're back to even strength. This Jets team gets this puck to the net again, turned aside by O'Sullivan as the Riel is able to skate it out. Trot now gaining the zone with speed. Opposite side, his shot into the Jets logo it goes. Spencer Hunnam with 1:23 remaining. And oh, desperation after desperation. Save attempt made there from O'Sullivan in his own end. He can't regain his footing, and it's the Jets who can't get onto a loose puck, can't find a loose puck to put it into that gaping cage, or at least attempt to. I know Kaczorowski tried to get it tucked into net with a wraparound chance, but great desperation defense around the net at the same time by this Riels team to keep it out, as the Jets, ever since finding really what was their third goal of the game, their second of this period, we felt that energy even leading up to that goal. You know, starting to shift, that momentum starting to shift in favor of the Jets in terms of their offensive zone workload and how much time they'd be spending in there, the types of chances they get. Been really impressed so far in this one with 1:23 remaining. So the Ty McNaughton, 2-goal scorer this afternoon, gets kicked out of the draw. Connor Davis in to take it. Davis tied up in the face-off draw. This will be won by this Jets team. Stretched up, almost threading that pass was King to Bateman at the Riels blue line. 1:10 left on the clock. Jets back in their own end. Down by 1 in this one. Went D to D. Puck got sent out, but sent right back into their own end Now you got to go if you're Stonewall. Also would like to get that extra attacker out, I'm sure. That starts with establishing the zone. Cole Emberley, though, unable to one-touch this in deep enough. So it's turned over. He's also offside. Crucial break not going the Jets' way this time. As this all the way down. Oh, maybe an even worse break for this Riels team. Given how much pressure this Jets team has had in the offensive zone late in this game, that icing on what seemed like it should have been a cross-ice pass that should have been connected on, missed for the Riels, and with that, too hard of a bounce for them, which resulted in an icing as Emberley gets tied up in the face-off circle. The Riels and the Jets trying to dig away at it, but neither team able to get possession. The Jets do, and it's King who unloads. Oh, huge block by Dylan Buckner. Loose out in front. Oh, Sprung out to make the save was O'Sullivan. As the Jets still can't capitalize out in front, given all the chances they've had here, up to 40 shots now. This will get by a Jets player. Reeves Sukit sends this in just before the blue line, and with that, the Riels survive a late surge put on by this Stonewall Jets team. In front of the net again. Thought maybe the Riels at first would have been able to get out right away with that block by Bachnek, but the puck luck in favor of the Jets there. It gets into the slot area, lands onto the stick. I believe it was Kaczorowski who ends up taking the net, feeding a player. And they can't capitalize in front there as O'Sullivan was sprawling again, but 31 made some huge saves in this one, and I mean some big ones. His team out in front was just able to survive. As Reeves Sukit out of the insurance marker, and in this one, it's the Riels who make it 8 wins on the season, improving to 8-4, taking the final here this afternoon from Southdale, 5-3 against the Stonewall Jets. The Jets now fall to 6-5-1 on the season, in a game where I think, you know, you got to be really happy with the third period specifically. If you could throw out the second period, well, this would be a win for yourselves today if you're the Stonewall Jets, as they gave up 3 in that period alone. But a late strong push where they threw everything at the St. Boniface Riels net, and I mean everything. 40 shots to 39 in this one. It wasn't enough, as the Riels able to just get out of their zone, chipping it past. Open space for Reeves Sukit to go down and put in a second goal of the game. This time an empty netter. The first one was shorthanded. Got to give credit to the Riels, their desperation in front to not make it easy for Stonewall to regain those pucks. Credit to them on their penalty kill as well. And a credit to Michael O'Sullivan in this game. You know, stepping up and making huge saves when his team needed it down the line. It's desperation from him and desperation from his team, which turns out to be in the favor of the Riels here this afternoon. As for the Stonewall Jets, I mean, we know how good this team can be when they get on the forecheck like they did, when they're able to hound teams and play with speed, get into, you know, those checks and creating turnovers, right? We saw that on display in their cycle game and how they're able to, you know, work it around into the points with success and go D-to-D and get shots through on net and capitalize on those. We saw them even get to the slots a few times down the line. I just feel like things weren't, you know, exactly going as well for them in terms of getting into the slot area, especially in that second and first period. As, yeah, the Riels did a really good job of taking that away, and it looked like Stonewall was forcing things more, but they started to play more simple, didn't force things as much, and rode some great momentum. In that third period attempt of a comeback, it just fell short, as it was tight until the last minute of this one, ended up being tight until the last minute. Lots of shorthanded goals in this one, too. One from McNaughton, one from Reeves Sukik for the Riels, and, of course, the opening goal of the game from Kaczorowski for this Jets team. But Both these teams will be back in action coming up next week, of course, in the mmjhl. The Jets will have less time off as they'll be back at home on Thursday night, going up against, let's take a look here, the Transcona Railer Express, as they'll be looking for revenge after a 4-3 loss to the Pembina Valley Twisters, which saw the Twisters snap a 9-game losing streak this afternoon. 4-3 win down in East End. As for the Riels, they won't be back in action again until Friday night at Ab McDonald Arena to take on the St. James Junior Canucks. For that matchup between these two teams, I believe it will be the second of the year. But we're going to get into the players of the game now, brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. For McCann Fasteners and Tools, getting the loser's side today in the Stonewall Jets. Scoring has not been updated here. In terms of the players I liked from the Jets today, I liked what I saw from Kak Zarowski. But I thought Carson King, his game was really impressive, especially in that third period, getting a goal to cut into the lead at 2 at the time, and really inserting himself, big time in the forecheck, laying some, physical hits down the line there in that third to, create turnovers, get giveaways for the Riels team, create the turnover in favor of his Stonewall Jets team, and really good job of getting those pucks to the net and just making the simple things happen in this one. So, yeah, he gets a goal on the afternoon, and the loser side of the player of the game brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools. As for Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia's players of the game this afternoon, yeah, I was really impressed with Ty McNaughton this afternoon. I thought he was a beast on the forecheck. His first goal of the game was a result of exactly that. His shot is incredible if he's able to load up on it, and he had 2 really clean snipes tonight past Spencer Hunnam. And, yeah, just always around the danger in the offensive zone tonight and capitalizing huge on his opportunities. And Ty McNaughton, who ended up getting a shorty and an even strength goal this afternoon in the Riels win. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check out their store location located on 995 Miltsteagle Drive in Winnipeg, Manitoba, as well as checking out their website at cancentralsportscards.com. For this matchup this afternoon, the Jets really impressed with how they pressed and how they pushed and fought until that last whistle. But it wasn't enough, as the Riels were just able to survive. Big reason why they win today. 3 unanswered goals in that third period, which had them up 4-1 heading into this final period of regulation. 2 goals from the Jets wasn't enough in that third. It's the Riels who win it 5-3. The Riels now, when we take a look at the standings, now improved to 8-4 on the season. The Jets fall to 6-5-1. Jets will be back in action against the Railer Express, who are also looking for a bounce back on this Thursday night. The Riels will be going up against the St. James Junior Canucks, who coming off of a huge win this afternoon against the Fort Garry Twins. I've been your play-by-play commentator. Oh, that Riels matchup, by the way, at Ab McDonald on Friday night, if you didn't hear. But I've been your host, Graham, the G Show Forsyth, play-by-play commentator, as always, for this mmjhl game day afternoon from Southdale Arena. Thank you to McCann Fasteners and Tools, Terrico, goaltenders, and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for sponsoring another broadcast here today. For you, the viewer, for tuning in as well, and for supporting us, as always, here on your home for mmjhl hockey and your home for hockey in Manitoba here in 2024-2025. We'll be back at St. Vital Arena on Thursday night. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday and a great start to your week. And thanks again for watching G-Show Productions edition of mmjhl Game Day. Riels 5-3 win over the Jets to go 2-0 on the season series so far. Have a good one, everybody.